Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Jerry's Old Guy Review and the continuing series of long-term reviews. And our brand today is Redcat. Now, I'm going to tell you, I may divulge into some slight ranting at some point because of how disliked Redcat was until this came along. The Redcat Gen 8 V2. And we'll discuss the history in a moment. But as usual, thank you all to my new subscribers, new viewers. I love that we're blowing up the chat. Now, I'll apologize, it is taking me a while to get back with some of the chats, because some of them are quite lengthy, which I have no problem with. I love to interact with everybody, as most of you know, and I have zero issues with any negative commenters so far. We had a few in the past. For those of you that have been here long term, you know we've had a couple. Now, I have actually, nope, we're going to save that for the next video, which will be Let It Fly. But we'll talk about that in that video. Back to Redcat. Now, it's true. Redcat has made a lot of just Chinese knockoff-ish vehicles in the past. And they do still have a lot of their options. Unlike a lot of companies, you know, they throw a vehicle on the market, sell a bunch of them, somebody in marketing decides, yeah, we're not selling that many. We just need to wipe it from the slate. Hey, Axial, how do you feel about getting rid of the six-wheeler? Just saying, a lot of people still want that six-wheeler, and you just dropped it. Oh, or how about a Blazer body? A non-Wrangler for a change. Everybody I know that has one loves it, wishes they could get another one. Many of you on the channel have expressed interest in both the Blazer and the six-wheeler. They've got the UMG four-wheeler still, just dropped the six-wheeler completely. Redcat chose not to do that. So, fighting an uphill battle with generally everybody but myself, sorry, just gonna say, every Redcat up until the V1, and including the V1, we're getting negative everythings. The V1, powered by all Hobbywing, brushless, $500 for the kit, which was an RTR, it wasn't even a kit. People were buying them up. But then everybody, and by everyone I mean YouTube, started bitching. So then all of a sudden the people who own them, strangely, I haven't found in my comments, we've done a lot of Redcat videos, I have not in any of my comments said, confirmed the problems were spouting on YouTube about them. Everybody I've talked to really liked it. But Redcat said, you know what, we're going to mend it, since for the first time, the V1, or just the Gen 8, let's just call it that, it wasn't the V1 at the time, it was just the Gen 8. The Gen 8 was their own in-house, everything was done to their specs. Nothing, it wasn't just rebadged. They did what a lot of other people are doing, got with Hobbywing, which Hobbywing made a lot of stuff for a lot of people under different names. So a lot of their past stuff, we'll bring the Gen 7 up here in a little bit, was full of stuff that is now considered excellent. But they did it before everybody. The V1, which was their own in-house, all new, designed by them, the vehicle that made it their own. They said, you know what? We're going to address some of these issues, and we're going to re-release it as a V2. What other RC company took all the criticism from outside sources? I can't say per se how many people may have been sending them emails. I have sent Redcat emails. I get answers back. So they're obviously taking it seriously. Now, they went right off the bat when they decided to try to get into the crawling market better. They got, sponsorships or licensing with Interco Tire Company, which didn't particularly make an excellent off-road tire, but buying a rock crawler that came with super swampers on it was, a little different. But meanwhile, this truck, the Gen 8, is their swan song. Now everybody loves it. Well, it's basically the same truck that it was, which I bought it because of the way it looks. It is unique. It is an International Scout. And they had the stickers and everything else, so obviously it's licensed. But meanwhile, still, the V2, the V1 in the ready to run, with all the fancy Hobbywing brushless kit, was $500. This one, with the brush setup, is only $339. And it was actually only $299 before the price raising, shipping raising, everything else that went on. Very small amount did they raise their price up on. But still, $339.99 for a very capable truck that I have had nothing but fun with. But to get the excellent scaleness to it and the fabulous, which Velcro, you basically have two inner liner sets. It sets the truck up high, so the truck is top heavy. So you know what I say in my mind is, this is exactly like a real truck, and it makes it more of a challenge to drive because you can't just do everything you want to do with it. And then boom, love that. Excellently scaled. Didn't like the tires. Everybody's got their own idea with the super swampers. Some people just change the foams. Some people put the tires backwards, which, working with what you have. I don't hear a lot about ripping everything else apart. It's just the tires. I put J Concepts landmines on mine. And you know what? It crawls better. It crawls further, but still, you get to the point where it's too much for the truck, and it's top heavy because it's the way it is. You can only go so far, which we discussed this before. This is a scale truck. It is not a dedicated rock crawler, but it is still fun as hell. It has all the doodads, tons of product support. Boom! But as we say, Redcat wanted to put their name on it because this whole vehicle was their own design. So the next thing they did was come up with the Wendigo. So you've got a dedicated crawler. Why not hit the other market? The rock racer. Bouncing and slamming over rocks. Climb that hill as fast as you can. Which is a real sport in the world. So with the Wendigo, they used the same similar setup. The whole chassis with all the good doodads on this truck, they removed them. Bare bones, the Wendigo, threw some bigger axles on it, which are straight because the Gen 8 is a portal axle for crawling, which also increases the high center of gravity. But, you know, a lot of people not scale. Straight axles came on the Scout. Who cares? It is a beautiful, I mean, it even came with metal chrome pieces on it for that price point. The Wendigo. In the kit form, it's a smoking deal at only $259. You put all your own electronics in it. Or you get the ready to run, which is $399, and it comes with a brushless setup. It's only at 3,300 kV, but meanwhile, I have not owned it. I bought the kit, but I know a friend of mine has one, and that thing is plenty peppy. Of course, what did I do? I put a 5,200 kV in it. It is way too fast. It rolls like crazy because the differences between the Wendigo and the Marksman, the Marksman's complaint is there's not enough steering. The Wendigo, there's too much steering. Excuse me. So, I bet, you know what, now that I'm thinking and looking, ooh, that might be something to do. I might have to get some Marksman wheels and put them on the Wendigo because, you know, I haven't yet because I'm still using those tires just to see. I broke the front servo in it. Nothing on the truck is broken at a 52 kV motor screaming through that thing. Oh, my bad, I broke this little bumper piece. But I screwed it back on from the bottom and it hasn't come off again. But structurally, nothing on that vehicle other than that bumper loop broke. And I've hit things and jumped things and slammed into things enough to break the front servo, but nothing else. But meanwhile, that was an extension. Then they caught crap for that because, oh, that's just a Gen 8 and they just reused everything. No. They reused about 40% of it and then used 60% of all new stuff. So, where does that leave the name brands? I know damn well that there's certain $800 to $1,000 trucks on the market right now that add that extra money just for portals. Just saying, $239, $259, or $399. Two absolutely different vehicles in my mind because the function of both is completely different. Now, just like we discussed with the MSTs, which they're a little bit smaller than the scale I think they should be, Redcats are always a little bit bigger. And when the Marksman came out as a 1/8 scale, oh my God, it's not a 1/8 scale. They just re-released a Wendigo and it's the same truck. Well, once again, No. They reused, I'd say maybe 45 to 50% of the Wendigo stuff. But meanwhile, it's got different chassis rails. They're a lot longer, which even then, they didn't mold all new ones. They made additions. Oh, but same thing that Axial did. But it is, in the scheme of things, a bigger truck. It's not a lot longer, but the overall size of the truck is bigger. And once again, you know, International Scout, very pre-70s Bronco-ish body on the Wendigo. Jeep Commander body on the Marksman. I absolutely love that. Even if this is not a licensed vehicle, we know what it is. Licensed vehicle, not licensed vehicle. We know what it is. We know what it is. We know what it is. There's no secret, but it's different. And strangely, there are some trends here. So Redcat's been using Velcro body mounting for a while. Quite a while. We'll get over to the Gen 7 in a minute. Now I see that people are picking up on it. There's been a few companies in the past, very few, who have touched on a Bronco body. Now all of a sudden that Redcat came out with a Bronco body, now other people have a Bronco body. Now I'd like to see the same thing with the Marksman, now that we have a alternate Jeep body. It would be nice to see more. Actually, it'd be better to see anything that wasn't a Wrangler. Because as we've talked about before, the Wrangler is turned into a status symbol, not the everyman's working vehicle. But I got 3 Redcats here that represent some of the best everyman's vehicle that has been in our past. Right, there are 2 of these Jeep Commandos still running around here in Alaska in the interior. One guy I know has 2 of them, pristine condition, with a little folding soft top on it, like convertible. Wow, excellent. So let's move my ass, and let's get the Gen 7 in. Because right in the middle of the midst of the crawler craze, the Gen 7 came out, which strangely, it's like the conversion of a Chevy Escalade and an F-150, actually not even F-150, like an Excursion, a Ford Excursion, and a Suburban / Escalade molded together, is what this truck came out as. Now, there's 2 versions of the Gen 7. This is the Pro, and the Pro is $279.99 right now. The non-Pro is $229.99, and pretty much the Pro, all it includes is the doodads. Snorkel, a roof rack with all of this stuff that we know. It's not super efficient. You take the tires off, maybe leave the tools and the fuel cans up there. But hell, it came with a faux light bar on it. And it perfectly lined up with another light bar that I just picked up. So boom. And you could get light bars. Now before you start, I can hear all the snickering. I hear it in the background. No, I did not paint this paint for me. This is my granddaughter's truck. And yeah, now I bet you feel bad that you were thinking I was a little fruity. But I'll tell you, I've had this truck since it came out. It has been quite a few years now. My granddaughter, I do have a video about it, but I'll refresh everyone. My granddaughter is running almost every tree in my backyard with this, hit every rock at full speed, and this truck, nothing has broken on this truck. Now, there it is, it's running the Super Swampers, but the way she drives, I wasn't that worried about it, but I want to get her into trying her hand at crawling this summer. So we took the foams out of it. And these tires are still pretty fat, pretty thick, even with the foams out of them. They stand up pretty tall. But the thing I thought was really cool was this. And it comes with a cool kickstand that fits right into a body mount so that you can work on your truck. It's got the Velcro to hold it down. It's got the hex fly stuff in it, which was the early version of the Hobbywing stuff. It's got the old hex fly, the red bodied servo in it that everybody wants nowadays. The cheapies off Amazon. And this truck, while a virgin budding crawler, I'll tell you, and eventually one day I'll do a video if I can find the book again, but for any of you who have a Gen 7, get the owner's book out, look at the exploded picture of how the truck is supposed to be put together, and you will notice that the links front and rear were put in the wrong location when these were pre-built, I'm assuming in China. So you get the book out, you see where the links are supposed to go, put them in their corresponding holes that the book says, get your Dremel out, and there's the front cross member for the bumper. Once you reposition these in the holes they're supposed to be in, you'll notice that your servo will hit that front mount. Dremel that out a little bit so the servo horn clears, and I can guarantee you this will be a different truck to drive. And I was trying to look in there and see which holes I moved, and I don't remember. But for this price, you've got your metal diff covers, and boy, they take some abuse. You know, everything is metal down low. The frame for your transmission is metal. You know, and for the price point, these are still available. I don't know, I'm pretty sure that Tower Hobbies has them, but my prices for the current Gen 7 for $279 or $229 if you don't want all the extras on the body. Oh, so that's the hard mounts. I forget about this total fender line thing. But if you wanted to start one of your kids, or even your wife, you know, girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other, whatever, and they don't know nothing about rock crawling, for $279 or $229, that'd be an excellent starting point. But then again, now you're saying, well, why this one, which is actually more like, you know, the 110 scale you would think about with Redcat, that wasn't their chassis. Somebody else built this and they just put their mark on it, which I can't say that so much. No, those axles are. I mean, they're all Redcat branded, so, you know, they just had somebody build the stuff for them. But meanwhile, perfect starting place. And if you use my little hack, you know, verify that owner's book that comes with it. You know, that, Or if you already have one, find that owner's book. You know, I generally save all of mine, but I'll be damned if I can find this one again, because I did it at the beginning and don't know what I did with it. But you'll find the owner's book, Make sure your holes are all in the right place. Do a little dremeling. Or maybe they've updated it. I can't see that close at the pictures they put on the websites. But meanwhile, I bought this, and this, I had some of the knockoffy kind of old stuff that Redcat did. Redcat, in my opinion, still has the best 1/5 scale gas truck. You know, it was a pretty good competitor for HPI when they had their 1/5 scale, but then again, their 1/5 scale was a knockoff of a Chinese one. And wow, big name. You can get the Chinese one from Rovin or RC, what the hell is that place called? King Motors. King Motors and Rovin RC made the 1/5 scale long before HPI did, but meanwhile, they had one at Redcat. They still have it. And I think they have another one. It's like a Chimera or something. Pretty slick. But I'm getting away from gas. And I'm getting away from Redcat. So you go over and you can look at some of the inexpensive offerings from Redcat. A-Main's got all of them. And there's actually a Kaiju, which is like a monster trucky looking thing that, once again, because of this, their name has suddenly gone up in the world. And now everything that comes out is the greatest thing. And I say, congratulations, Redcat. You finally beat the big dogs. And this is a small company in the United States, which I don't think they're so small anymore. Because now, something they're making that I absolutely thought I did not need anything to do with was the lowrider. But like I've mentioned before, there is sometimes that you see a body, it doesn't matter what it's on, but you have to have that truck. In this case, it's a car. It's got a 79 Monte Carlo on it. The second car I ever owned. And I don't need a lowrider, but that body looks great. So there it is. My long-term reviews. You guys should already know, from the Gen 7 to the Gen 8, well, the fact that there's 4 of these sitting on the table right now, that you know that I like Redcat. I like the price. I like the support. I've talked to the company, so I like the company. And you know what? How can you go wrong? Everybody's going to hate. Everybody's going to say this is crap and that's crap. But you know what? It's not as prominent right now, and I'm really liking it. So, big thumbs up on Redcat. If any of you are looking to get a new RC car, and you don't want to dip your toes into the $500-600 market for RC cars right now, boom. Just gave you the prices. Actually, I didn't give you the price on the Marksman. The Marksman is the most expensive at $439. But you know what? Even the Marksman, $439 for a 1/8 scale, and a truck that was really fun to detail because it's old and it's straight. You know, and I have enjoyed it outside. And that's all that matters. So, go give Redcat a look. Go update your Gen 7 if you've got one. And let me know how it works out